Welcome to a Big Show Entertainment Network special event. Super Dave Raines and the Big Show on location here at Regal Cinemas, United Artists, Colorado Center 9, and IMAX. And I am here with the man that started with me, what about 10 years ago was it?
10 years ago. Can you believe it?
Oh, I can't believe it. 10 years ago when we saw the first Avengers?
Avengers and a couple others, Star Wars. We've done it. So now you're big time.
Well, I'm trying to be there. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Super Dave Raines and the Big Show once again, comic book Nate Kowalski. We're so happy to have you on the program. We wish we could have had you for the pre-show, but you were out of town. So, wow, folks, we are here. I can't even say special night. This is an epic night that we are here for Avengers Endgame, marking the end of Phase 3 in the Marvel Universe. It's been a heck of a week. Once again, I want to thank Peterson Air Force Base, 21st Space Wing Public Affairs for allowing us to shoot the pre-show. Oh my God, it was awesome at the Air and Space Museum right there at Peterson Air Force Base. So, wow, Nate, man, oh man, this is fantastic. I mean, you can really feel the excitement. It's like electricity in here. I want to thank a few more people, but first I want to announce the winners of our Marvel Legend Series Captain America Shield giveaway. So I want to congratulate both winners. Actually came from Colorado Springs, so we put the names in a randomizer. It just came out that way. So I want to congratulate Chris Kilcrease of Colorado Springs. You are a winner of a Marvel Legends Series Captain America Shield.
I'm jealous.
Me too. And I also want to congratulate our second winner, Leah Hammers of Colorado Springs. You also are the winner of a Marvel Legends Series Captain America Shield. We will get with you, we'll get your address, and we'll get those sent out to you pretty quickly. But congratulations on that. I want to give a special thanks to Ashley Slimp, the public relations coordinator for Regal Cinemas, for allowing us to be here on location to shoot the Avengers on location show. I can't really say pre-show because we kind of already did that. So I also want to thank Brad Beckelheimer, the general manager here at Regal Cinemas, United Artists, Colorado Center 9, and IMAX. I just saw him a minute ago. He's behind the concession stands, folks, because I tell you what, this is a packed house tonight. We've got the IMAX getting ready to kick off in just a few more minutes, probably 5 or 10 more minutes at 6. Our show's at 7. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to kind of try to take a look at what's going to happen with Phase 4. And Nate, I'm going to ask you some questions about some characters and get some explanations on who they are and what, when, and where, and what we might see them in the future for Phase 4 Marvel.
We'll try.
All right. Well, the first character I want to start with is Kate Bishop. Who is Kate Bishop? Why is she important? And will we see her going forward?
So I'm not really sure how they're going to use her today and going forward. So I don't want to answer that yet because.
But who is she, Nate?
So the problem is there's different. I'm not going to answer that today because I don't know how they're going to do it. I thought I knew, like Mrs. Marvel, how they were going to do it. So they've really changed up how they're going to rewrite some of the histories on these characters. So for me to answer and say that's how they're going to do it in Legends, I don't want to answer that because they've changed a lot of history.
Yeah, I stumped him on the first question, folks. Whoa.
And you got me on that one.
Well, let me ask you, who is Black Knight?
So Black Knight, we're going to go with the Black Knight, the original Black Knight. So he's a British hero.
Right.
And he got a cursed sword, and that kind of cursed him. So it will be a British hero, an actual British hero. So we'll see. I don't know how they're going to use him in the Avengers.
Okay.
But so we have Avengers. So my version of this is, I think the Avengers is going to split off. This is my view. You're going to have like an Avengers East Coast, West Coast, like the comic books did. And you're probably going to shove some of your icons. And that may be where that's going. So the Black Knight, that's where I think some of that may be going, branching off into different avenues.
Right. Well, you are our subject matter expert,
I'm not sure
and
that's what we're
that's why we have you on the show. We know this is all in theory, and we're getting your opinion on where this might be going for Phase 4. So let me ask you about M1-13.
So a robot, it is in the comic books, it was a hero that they brought back to life in robotic form numerous times, different versions. And Iron Man was one of those. He also was the voice. So it kind of like a Vision-like replacement again. So that's why I said I don't know how this movie's going to play out.
Right. No, you're right. None of us do, but we're going to find out very soon.
That's why I said they could put any person's kind of personality into this,
Right.
depending on how they play it out tonight.
Right. Well, let me move on down my list, and let me ask you about Photon, Monica Rambeau.
Okay, so Photon, to me, wasn't a girl in the beginning.
Okay, but
Yeah, so Photon was a guy. So that's why I say that Marvel changes this a bit. But I like Photon, kind of space. That's why I say we're doing a lot of changes. He was a pretty good hero. Again, this is East Coast, West Coast. I think we're building out a worldwide. I know Avengers is small right now. I think we're building out a bigger team. I think Marvel personally, is going to break away from an Avenger style build that we did over this 10-year period.
Right.
They're going to focus on, even with Photon, I think they're just going to make more individual movies. And I know everybody loved this 22 movie buildup,
Right.
but I think Marvel, Disney, I loved it. I think they're going to break away from that, and then on occasion do the team up.
Right.
They're going to split things apart and start branching out a bit, because
Right.
I think even Disney kind of got overwhelmed with this.
Okay.
That's my opinion, and that's why I think the teams are splitting worldwide.
Okay. All right. That's a good point. Fair enough. Well, let me ask you about Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan.
So I like her. She kind of stretches. So depending on how you view this, so Miss Marvel, the original Miss Marvel,
Right.
again, that was her powers. She's been around for a long time. They've reintroduced her as an Islamic hero.
Right.
So, again, like I told you, they're going worldwide now.
Yeah,
So, it depends. Like I said, this is now the newer version. So, on top of that, I like the old version. So, if you want me to reach back to the old version, she was great. I loved her. If you've played any of the old Legos, I like her stretching ability. She's kind of she's kind of comedic. DC kind of has a version of her too, Mr. Elastic.
Yes.
Yes. So it is I like the character in general. And people confuse her with Captain Marvel. Their power bases are almost, some of their origin stories are very close tied together. If you go back far enough, you could even get them confused in the early Avengers because they were so closely connected.
Right.
So it is a really good toss-up. And like I said, depending on how far back you go, you can really confuse the two.
Okay. All right. Good enough. And that's what we wanted, folks. We wanted to really get in depth with a lot of these characters that are going to be seen going forward in the next phase and get comic book Nate's take on who they are. So let me move on down the list. Let me ask you about Angela.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you I really don't know too much about her.
Okay. I can move to the next one.
Go next one.
All right. I stumped him again. Shang-Chi.
So he's a Chinese hero, martial artist. So Marvel kind of introduced him as moving forward. So let's put it this way: he's not my popularist Avenger. I know him. And then again, this is Marvel's. This movie may go good or go bad for Marvel. This is really Disney's. Let's say this is Disney's attempt at an Asian hero.
Right.
And we saw that didn't work too well in Netflix. That kind of went really south really fast.
Okay.
And they wrote this character specifically going forward. I didn't like the comic book too much, so I didn't get into it too well. So that this is going to be 50-50. And the previews will either sell it because people have already watched, the Iron Fist. So they're going to have to overcome a lot to sell this character after Iron Fist and Netflix.
Okay. That's good. And let me ask you about Moondragon.
So Moondragon, he's one of my favorites.
Okay.
So I liked him way, way back. Nighttime hero, the phases of the moon. He was killed in Egypt. This was one of my favorites. He ain't something me on this one.
Yeah, okay.
I would
right.
So I will watch just based on old comics alone. I don't know how they're going to use him. Again, this is Avengers East Coast West Coast.
Yes.
Because he's an Egyptian hero that kind of moved to this, depending on where need was greatest, could fight really well.
Right.
Almost Captain America level. Definitely teamed up with the Punisher a lot.
Right.
And a few other. He was not an Avengers type guy because he got a little bit more violent than Avengers would allow. So
how do you get more violent than Frank Castle and the Punisher?
that's what I'm saying. And Punisher was not an Avengers fan.
Okay.
So they got really. That's why I said those two teamed up a lot. So because they didn't like to follow. They wanted punishment.
Right.
So
Awesome.
I would say maybe this is Disney's version of raising the bar now that Disney owns Fox.
Right. Well,
So I hope so. That's what I hope for Moon Knight.
okay. Awesome.
I want a good Moon Knight movie.
Well, let me ask you about two more. I'm going to ask you about the Eternals and Rescue.
So the Eternals. See, I wish you'd ask. The Eternals on the moon. We love them. We hate them. Can't really kick off a good Eternals. So transformed by the mist. We love him. We hate him. Only one I like is Black Bolt. He's the king. And you know what? All he's got to do is talk, and most things move out of his way.
Right.
So he's the only one who can talk, take out a Watcher. Celestial beings. Since you brought up the Eternals, the only thing I would like out of a Marvel movie is the celestial beings to show up eventually. I don't care. Anyone can take me on that. I would like for the grand, eternity to show up. His sister Time to step in on one of these movies. I would like a good shot of that. But we'll see what happens.
Nate, it's been 10 years. 10 years. You've been coming on Super Dave Reigns in the Big Show.
You got me 3 times in 10 years. I can't complain.
I got you a couple more before that.
You may have. Okay. You do your research.
All right, I do my research.
So to be fair, I don't get the questions before I show up. No research.
That's true. I do not give you the questions. So we'll be back a little bit later. We've got Reagan here. So Regan Reagan is here. We call her the Captain Marvel of Denver, Colorado. She's going to come on the show for just a little bit. And we're just going to try to bring you as much coverage tonight. Make sure that you like us on Facebook at Super Dave Reigns and The Big Show, and then you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Big Show Entertainment Network, and then you'll find all of the Big Show Entertainment Network shows as we've kind of expanded. We started with one show, and now we have 6, and then we have one more in development. Special thanks to Chase Sexton, the director of Big Show Q Branch, behind the camera tonight. Nate, thank you so much, man.
No.